Good morning and Assalamu alaikum, my dears. Hope you all are keeping well. So, welcome to yet another session of English Open Course Applied Language Skills. So, as you all know from the last class, we have already completed our first module that was based on the basics of communication. We went through the process, the definition of communication. We went through the different types of communication. We went through formal, informal type of communication. We went through the different barriers in a communication. Now moving on, we will be starting with our module 2 today. Module 2 deals with the resources for language skill development, which includes both the conventional resources as well as the electronic resources or the online resources. So in the conventional resources, it mainly deals with the tools that you will be using for your language development, like the dictionary, like the phonetic dictionary you have, like the grammar books, like the phrases and idioms dictionary, etc. So today's class, I will be dealing with many aspects you need to know on understanding dictionaries. So hello, and let's start with the basic introduction to a dictionary, that is its definition. So what is a dictionary? We all know what a dictionary is. It gives you the meaning of certain words. 1. What else do you know about a dictionary? Words will be listed according to their alphabetical order. 2. Good. Anything else you know about a dictionary? It may give you certain examples, usages, sometimes the phonetical script, the transcription will be cited along with the word. So this is what basically is a dictionary. So here I have given 2 definitions for a dictionary. So you need to at least be thorough with the one definition so that you can use it when you will be writing your essays or paragraphs. So a dictionary is a listing of words in one or more specific languages, often arranged alphabetically, which may include information on definition, usage, etymologies, pronunciation, translation, etc. A dictionary is also a book of words in one language with their equivalent in another, sometimes known as a lexicon. It is a lexicographical reference that shows interrelationships among the data. So 2 basic definitions of what a dictionary is. I hope that was clear. Okay, so moving on to basic, categories of dictionary is the general dictionary and the specialized or the technical dictionary. Now, what is a general dictionary? A general dictionary is the very common dictionary that you use when you need to look up a word. It maps the word to meaning or the definition. So that is what is a general dictionary. The Oxford Dictionary we have the Cambridge Dictionary. Sometimes we use the more advanced Merriam-Webster Dictionary. So some of the general dictionaries, that is what is a general dictionary. Now, what is a specialized or a technical dictionary? Yes, from the word itself, it's very clear. A technical dictionary includes words in specialist fields rather than a complete range of words in the language. It describes concepts in specific fields that are usually called terms instead of words. So, here you need to understand this technical dictionary with an example. So a very good example you may have is the Medical dictionary. Has any of you seen a medical dictionary? Medical dictionary will only give you the terms or concepts that are medically relevant or used in the medical field. Okay, so if you visit the doctor and the doctor says that you need to have an IV drip, or you need to go through a so and so examination like the ECG, or you need to go through a thorough checkup and so. So they use many medical terms, and you are very you feel very confused. So if you have a medical dictionary with you, look up those words, so you'll be able to understand better what they meant by going through this thorough checkup, whatever it is, or a CT scan, an ultrasound scan, the differences between the scans, the MRI scan. So what is the different types of scans you have, and what is the basic difference between these scans, some kind of a medical words. So actually we don't actually use even the word here. You call them concepts or terms. So they describe concepts in specific fields, which are called terms instead of words. So that is what a technical dictionary is. You have a medical dictionary. You might have an electronical dictionary where the elements related to electronics field will be given. You might have an IT dictionary. So different kinds of dictionaries specialized in different fields. So that is what a technical dictionary is. Now, moving on to the different types of dictionaries. Of course, there are many types of dictionaries. So you might wonder, some of them are quite familiar. You might be able to, give the meaning when I give out the names. Some you might have to learn. So what is a monolingual dictionary? So the monolingual dictionary, from the word itself, it's clear it is relating to one language. Mono, one. So the English word meaning will be given in the English language itself. So it uses the same language for the word and their definition. So obviously the other term would be the bilingual dictionary. The bilingual dictionary will be used by people who are weak in a certain language. So if you are not very proficient in the English language, you might use a bilingual dictionary in which the English word meanings will be given in Malayalam. Okay, so that is what a bilingual language is. Two languages are used. Or when we were in school and we had these Hindi assignments, we always looked up the meanings in a English Hindi dictionary or a Hindi English dictionary. So whatever way, the bilingual dictionary. An etymological dictionary. Etymological is very specific to the development of the word. So it traces a word's development over time, giving historical examples that show the changes. For example, the word pig, and how the word pig changed to pork. So the pig was actually used by the English, by the British, and when they were ruled, or when the French kings came, and there was a period of a French rule in Britain. So when the French rule was there in Britain, it was the French who introduced the term pork, and also we can say mutton, like goat was the animal, and when it became a dish, it was mutton. So that was it was introduced by the French. So many words and terms like that. So that is what traces a word's development over time, giving historical examples. So that is an etymological dictionary. Next we have a crossword dictionary. A crossword dictionary is very fun dictionary. If you have done crossword puzzles, you might be able to relate to what is a crossword dictionary. So you have seen all these crossword puzzles. So you have number of letters, 7-letter word with this specific meaning. So a crossword dictionary has words grouped together by the number of letters in the word to help people find words of a certain length to complete their crossword puzzles. Next is a rhyming dictionary. You have the rhymes in poetry. Pin, tin, bin, sin, rhymes, right? So a priming dictionary is one where words are grouped together by their end sounds. When two words end with the same sound, they rhyme. So it is used more frequently for poetry rather than prose. So poets might use a rhyming dictionary. Now a pocket dictionary is easy to understand, a very portable dictionary, a very handy kind of a dictionary, very small, not very heavy. Only the important words will be given. The number of words will be limited, or the font will be very limited. You can carry it in your bag, you can take it to school, you can bring it to college. So you always have a portable dictionary with you. So it is designed to be carried around. Consequently, they often have tough covers to withstand the perils of traveling. That is another feature of a pocket dictionary. The covers will be a bit hard, so that you can use it very roughly in your traveling. A mini dictionary is also a kind of a pocket dictionary, a little dictionary. A thesaurus. Now, what is a thesaurus? It is a book that organizes words by categories and concepts, so synonyms and near synonyms will be grouped together. A thesaurus is really very helpful when you're writing essays and you want to use a specific word to describe something, and you have a very common word, a very excellent, suppose. So you have excellent, so you are repeating the word excellent. For example, you are writing an essay on mobile phones. So the excellent use of mobile phones, it is an excellent device that has been used in today's world. It helps you to communicate excellently. So instead of repeating the word, the sense you want to give is excellent. So in a thesaurus, you can look up the word excellent and you get exemplary, outstanding, remarkable. All these are synonyms of the same word which you get in a thesaurus. Okay, so thesaurus is really very important type of a dictionary that you can use in your writing to develop your writing skills. So all of you must use a thesaurus, or you must have a thesaurus. So at least make yourself familiar with using a thesaurus. Okay, so continuing with the different types of dictionary, we have the glossary. A glossary is basically a list of words or phrases used in a particular field with their definitions A glossaries are often found at the back of a specialist or academic book. It's basically, again, like a very specialized kind of a dictionary. Glossary will be a book which has, phrases from a particular field. And it does not just have the definition, it has a more elaborate kind of explanation. Sometimes you give a glossary at the back of an academic book or an academic writing. You write a glossary at the end, and the difficult words that you have used will be explained at the end. And the next one we have is a collocation dictionary. What is a collocation? Collocation is basically defined by the Merriam-Webster dictionary as a noticeable arrangement of conjoining of linguistic elements. That is, words that always come together. For example, an example of a collocation would be, riding a horse. So riding a horse, we always use, to get on top of the horse and to move along with the horse. That action is called a riding a horse. So that kind of a term, it comes together. When you are moving in a horse, you are supposed to give the meaning. Then it becomes riding a horse or something like that. Carry the weight. Okay, so when you're carrying someone's weight, it's called carry the weight. So carrying weight. So these kinds of words that always come together, it's a linguistic element, actually, collocation. So we have a dictionary that have these collection of collocations. Next is a conceptual dictionary. Again, it is something like a technical dictionary or a very specialized dictionary. It's also called ideological dictionary. It groups words by concept or semantic relation. Semantic meaning meaning. Semantic means meaning, instead of arranging them in alphabetical order. So words will be grouped on the relationship rather than in their alphabetical order. Picture dictionaries, thesaurus, as I told you earlier, visual dictionaries, all these are conceptual dictionaries. For example, in a visual dictionary, it's a conceptual dictionary. It's usually used for kids. A visual dictionary where you have these visual explanations and this visual, pictures and all are given for describing a word. So everything will be related to it. So when photosynthesis is described, you have sunlight, water, photosynthesis, chlorophyll, etc. Everything coming together. So that is what is a visual dictionary. In the visual dictionary, chlorophyll won't be coming under C, and photosynthesis under P, and sunlight under S. So everything will be grouped together because they are related in that concept. Next, we have the last type of dictionary, or one of the other major type of dictionary, is called a reverse dictionary. It's just like the term that you understand, reverse order. That is, from the meaning you get from a word, you get the meaning. Here you give the concept, or you use the word meaning to get what the word is. Okay, so it organizes by concept, phrases, or definitions rather than headwords. It might go that is, you will be able to here an example is given: to find the word doctor, knowing only that he is a person who cures diseases. So in a reverse dictionary, the person who cures diseases, a person who drives a car, a person who handles electronics. So this kind of things will be given, and the name for that will be given alongside. Okay, so you have the meaning and then you find the word. It's a reverse dictionary. So just imagine the kind of concepts you have while searching for a word. We might think a dictionary is simply word meaning, right? So there are many things to know while knowing about a dictionary. Now finally, in this session I'll be dealing with idioms and phrases dictionary. Now, a phrase is a small group of words standing together as a conceptual unit. Phrase, simply group of words, that is, look up together, or jump into. These are phrases. Phrases, as you have already learned in your grammar classes, it can be a noun phrase, it can be a verbal phrase, many kind of uses. So a phrase is just a group of words standing together as a conceptual unit. They are seen together. Look after, look up, jump into, climb after, etc. Now an idiom is also a group of words, but it is something that is established by usage, and it has a meaning that is not understood, that is not deducible from those of the individual words. Okay. So an idiom, from the individual words you can't understand the meaning. So one basic difference of a phrase and an idiom is every idiom is a phrase, but not all phrases can be called an idiom. To be an idiom, they have to have a certain meaning that is not understood from just the words. You have to know the language culture. If you understand the English culture, it's only then you know the idiom. So the difference is that an idiom has an established meaning not linked to the individual words. Any idiom can be a phrase. Every idiom is basically a phrase, but not every phrase is called an idiom. An example is raining cats and dogs. Raining cats and dogs, it's a phrase that is used. Raining cats, raining dogs and all, it's a phrase. It is also an idiom. It is basically known as an idiom. A herd of cats, on the other hand, is a phrase, but it is not an idiom. It is not a usage. I hope you understood the difference. The free dictionary is a type of a dictionary that has these idioms and phrases. It is an idioms and phrases dictionary. It has the largest collection of English idioms and slang in the world. It has many idioms, slang terms, phrasal verbs, proverb, cliche, regionalisms, colloquialisms, expressions, sayings, abbreviations, etc. So all these are included in this free dictionary idioms dictionary. Now it also gives you certain example sentences. how the idioms are used by native speakers, how where they use this. If you are not a native speaker of a language, you might not know every idiom, every meaning. Okay, so you need to understand the culture, the language, to understand what they are trying to say. Also from this free dictionary, you also get details about the origin and history of the idioms and how they came into use and why such a usage is seen in the language. So that is all in today's class. So thank you.